Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, we take a break from our regular diet of politics to go into life and deal with our real life situations. Guys, I bring you this. Actor Frederick Leonard explains why he's still single at 44. So this is a real life situation, as I said, and this is a lot more commonplace than you would think. A man at 44 who is successful, just from his drawing from the movies, because I have seen this guy in movies before. I won't say I'm especially familiar with him or I am a great fan of his or anything, but certainly a familiar name. As again, the headline, actor Frederick Leonard explains why he's still single at 44. So now let's now see what explanation he gives. Frederick Leonard has opened up on why he's yet to be married at 44. Speaking in a recent interview with a newspaper, the actor stressed the need for couples to take their time and be more realistic in order to avoid broken homes. So we pause there for a moment. So this is a successful man aged 44 saying that people should take their time to avoid broken homes. So how much more time is he looking to take is really the question I am sure that his family are asking him, or what level of success is he really still looking to achieve, because he's one of the premier leagues of Nigerian entertainment industry, especially in acting. So he's a successful actor and he's certainly of age at 44. So taking his time is not something that should still be recommended to him. Certainly not something I would recommend, because he has taken enough time now for him to have made a decision. And to avoid a broken home is the second half of that. Well, the risk is always there. No matter how much time you take, the moment you start living with somebody as husband and wife, that is really when that journey begins, and then you get to know each other better than you've ever known each other before. So the chances of you not having a broken home is not enhanced by knowing somebody outside of your home for a period of time, but you have to live together as husband and wife and then put it to prayer. That is really how it works, because there are no guarantees, but it looks as though this guy is looking for guarantees. We carry on. He said, "I have not lost hope in marriage. It is just the time we live in. I believe in marriage, and even the Bible says it is not good for a man to be alone. I do not want to end up alone. I do not want to end up miserable. I want to be with someone who I have a lot of things in common with, someone I am compatible with. I believe in the institution of marriage, and I think that people should be more realistic with themselves when it comes to picking a partner." So the last paragraph, there's nothing to disagree with in that. So he says he wants somebody that he has something that has a lot of things in common with. That always helps. Somebody at least that you mesh mentally and you have the same broad views. That is not to say you agree on most things, because there has to be an element of friction and argument in a marriage just to keep it spicy. But then of course you know where the boundaries are and you mesh together. So you cannot disagree with that. He says he wants somebody that is compatible with. There's nothing to disagree with in that. He says he believes in the institution of marriage. So now that is important, because when they get to that age, the pressure becomes that much that they try to pretend as though they are not really for marriage and they're just living the life of a man about town. There are a lot of them. There's one artist like that also, I forget his name now, that a lot of people, I see, is it Don Jazzy or something? He's around about the same age, but he's saying that the people shouldn't ask him. He's about 40, 41, 42, that people shouldn't ask him, that he's a single man and is enjoying life. You are enjoying life as a single man at 40, 41, 42, 43. I don't know what enjoyment you are having, because of course the people that you would enjoy with, they're your peers, they're your age mates, and a lot of them already have their children in university. So I don't know, maybe he has children already and he's just chosen that life of Letario. But then of course that is not the lifestyle that we engage in our culture. So there's no disagreeing with that. He says, and I think people should be realistic with themselves when it comes to picking a partner. So from that last paragraph, all of the things that he has said are things that should have ensured that he was already married a long time ago. So perhaps this is a new realization that is coming to now, this newfound belief in the institution of marriage and what it takes to find a partner, etc. So now let's just go into the comment section, see how people are responding to this. A chap called Sean John is the first respondent. At 44, which other life again? Or you want to go and marry a lady in her 20s that will end up cheating on you when you are 50 and your DICK cannot satisfy her? Or you will marry a woman in her 40s that has a DICK experience of 20 years, my brother, you just need to admit you made a wrong decision in life. Stop justifying it. This is midlife crisis you are experiencing. Just go and settle before you clock 50. I don't know how many happy forever after you are looking for at above 44. Damn, what's the average Nigerian life expectancy anyway? 60. So this guy, of course, is going in deep, but there's a lot of sense in what he's saying, and really there's a lot to pick. He's saying that the choices, because you see, this is the thing, a lot of people put a lot of pressure on women when they get to their mid-20s, and certainly by the time you hit like the age of 30, the whole community is gathered around you beating drums of go and marry, go and marry. But those go and marry advice and drum beats should also go in the direction of men, because they say go and marry to these women when they hit their 20s and then they head towards their early 30s, and they get a lot of pressure to marry because they don't want to be left on the shelf, as they say. But it's not just women that are left on the shelves. This is really the point that this guy is making. It is not just women that are left on the shelves, because when you hit that age of 40, 44, thereabout, then your choices are limited, as this guy says. It's either you go and look for a very young bride that will bear you children, because of course you are still looking to procreate, and then of course if you are looking within that age bracket you want guarantees, so you probably go for somebody in their mid-20s. So if you are at the age of 44 going to marry a girl in her mid-20s, then there's a lot of pressure there. So when that girl is still in her full prime, you will already be in your doting ages. So you'll be already in your 60s. So let's say, for instance, this guy now at age 44 goes and marries a 25-year-old girl. In 20 years time, that 25-year-old girl will be a 45-year-old woman, but this chap now will be a 64-year-old man. So a 45-year-old woman that is well maintained is still a babe about town, and she still has all of the needs that women of that age would have. But a 64-year-old man that has gone through all of the rigors of life, from education to, especially within the Nigerian climate, to fighting to get his own, to gather together the things that life should be accompanied by: the wealth, the lands, the houses, the etc., the good and bad experiences. So all that experiences, all those experiences would have weighed you down already by the age of 64, but at the age of 45, of course, this woman is still full of energies. So this is the point that this guy is making. And by the way, the conversation between a 44-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman is at crossed purposes. It has to be, because the 25-year-old woman, I'm just saying now as a general norm, I'm not saying it applies to all of them, but in generality, a 25-year-old woman is still looking at the social scene, is still looking at the fashion scene, is still just coming out of university and is still with that crowd, wanting to do the things that people of that age want to do. But a 45 or a 44, 45-year-old man, he has other priorities. He's either completing his house or his second house. He's taking responsibility for this and that and his mother or whatnot, and they are looking at him in his village to come and take a senior role, and his stage in life is getting more stately rather than young and pumping and virile and about town. So it's different priorities. The guy is looking towards his latter years and thinking what provisions he has made to facilitate for that, because of course at 44 is just a skip and a jump to 54, and then 54 to 64 is just really one step and you're there. So he's already making those calculations, but then of course a girl of 25 is still in the beginnings of life. So if this guy now goes and takes a girl in her 30s, that girl in her 30s would have gone through the ringer, because of course since the age of 25 she's been under pressure to marry, and she would have passed through at least a few guys to arrive at this guy's doorstep. So she comes with a lot of those baggages, and then of course if she doesn't already have children, then there's the question as to why, and then all of that all the mess that comes with all of that when you start marrying a woman in a early to mid 30s, from 34, 35, 37. So that's that catchment area. And then of course when you are marrying a woman in her 40s, then of course the baggages gets even bigger, because there's a lot more of life experiences to pack into that. So all of that is what this guy is unpacking, this Sean John, with that comment that he made. So let's just take a couple more comments and then we'll round it off. The End is the name of the next commentator. The End is the handle of this guy. Better to take your time than divorce later. Don't rush. Take your time, man. You will find someone. So that is bad advice, obviously. So take your time. How much more time is it taking? Because of course, if we look at the trajectory of life within the Nigerian space, because this guy, I don't know his background, but let's work on the assumption that he comes from a average middle class background. So he comes from an average middle class background. His parents have done the necessary spends to educate him, and he has come out of school age 23, 24 with whatever degree he came out of school with. So he's gone through that phase. He's met babes at uni, because you see in most instances most people actually find their life partners in universities, in a lot of instances. And if you did find your life partner at university, then let me know in the comment section. But in most instances, a lot of people find their life partners at universities. So it's either university, your place of work, or in a place of religion, or you were introduced. So those are the general 4 routes for people finding a partner. So this guy comes out of uni age 24, let's go with that. And then from the age of 24 to the age of 34, he has done whatever it is that a man should do. Let's say it's taking him 2 years to find a job. So at 26, he has that job, and then he has worked that job for 2-3 years. Let's say he even did his master's in between. Let's just give him all the roundings up to 27. In all of that build up, of course, he have been meeting women, and the mother would have been dropping hints that, look, I want to see my grandchildren and all whatnot. You know what Nigerian mothers are like. So you'd have gone through that phase. So from the age of 24 to the age of 34, he should have established some sort of footing in life, enough to have gotten to the position where he feels that he's ready to take a partner. So that is pushing it up to that age of 34. So now that journey from that age of 34 to the age of 40 is a very difficult journey, because of course, as I said, and as you know, a lot of his peers would have married. They'd have married at the age of 26, 27, 28 maybe. So a lot of his contemporaries and a lot of his friends would have been married in their mid to late 20s, and they would have of course started having children, which is the usual norm within the Nigerian space. So already by the age of 31 thereabout, there would be little children out there sufficiently grown up enough to be calling him uncle, uncle, uncle. So they are already calling him uncle at the age of 31. And then, of course, as he gets into that 34 age, which is the benchmark that we established, a lot more of his peers, if not most of his peers, would have been married, certainly. So now that's a journey from 34 that we said to the age of 40, it is very rare that you still have that, maybe one friend or two, but certainly from that age of 34 to that age of 40, virtually everybody he knows is married, settled with children, etc. They may be having difficulties in their marriages. Some would have even been married twice or whatever, but certainly they would have gone through that journey of life. So that is 34 to 40. And then when you hit that 40, of course, so it is usually 18, 21. A lot of people avoid 30, as we said, and then 40 is a real landmark age, because then you have a big party, and when you invite a lot of people, and you're forced even to have that party anyway, because a lot of people, when you turn 39, they'll be drumming the beats that, look, you are turning 40, oh, we will celebrate, oh, this and that, oh, you know. So you're almost forced to acknowledge that age, because it's a marquee age. So 40, 50, 60, every decade then from 40 onwards, it's that they are marquee ages in life, because they are landmark ages in life, because a lot of people don't actually make that journey to those stages in life. So a lot of acknowledgements of that. So when you hit that 40 now, and you are having that party to celebrate, and you are unmarried, you don't have your partner, and children spread all around you, then the party is almost like a torture chamber, because everybody that comes to celebrate with you, they have one thing and one thing only to say. I'm talking about your friends, I'm talking about your family, I'm talking about your acquaintances, I'm talking about your associates, whatever. The only thing they want to say to you that you are grown up enough now, you can try and get married, though, you are ready now, or do you want me to find a wife for you? You know how they do it in Nigeria. So that 40th birthday, he would need a holiday after that, because it will be a traumatic experience for him. So a lot of that. And this guy is a good looking guy. I'm just saying aesthetically, no homo or anything, but he's certainly a good looking man. He's certainly successful. So really the reasons why he's not then able to be married is a real mystery, but it is really not that much of a mystery if you really think about it. So this is a guy that is stuck in a funk. He's now in a routinious sort of life. He gets up, goes to work, comes back home, is already set his home up in whichever form he has set it up. Maybe he has somebody that runs to the market and does the cooking and then stocks up his fridge. So he gets back home, just kicks back, watches a bit of telly, goes out drinking with his friends, and then he comes back home again. So he's gotten into that routine of a single life to the point that it's almost a difficulty now for somebody to come into his life and live with him. Because, I mean, imagine somebody that's had a single life up to the age of 44, then having to share that life with another person in close quarters. So he's stuck in a funk is effectively the situation that he finds himself in. Because when he was turning 36, 37, he would have had that nagging thought that I must find a person and must find a person. But then, of course, the people that are around him now are people that he's familiar with. So the single ones are no longer there. A lot of them are already married, and the crowd that he gravitates with, as I said, they are already people married with children. So his friends are married, the people he works with are married, even the actors that he acts with, they are married. And then, of course, you know, so he's stuck in that loop and he can't break free of it. So this is now the situation now, but it is not peculiar to this guy. If you are thinking it is, then it is not. It is nothing that is peculiar to this guy. These are situations that we are discussing on this video on this channel today. This situation is actually a lot more commonplace than you would imagine. Conversations in the comment section, single at 44, and the guy believes in marriage. This is the position that this guy finds himself in. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Come tell me what you are making of this guy's example. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.